1 in 5 people in the United States in jail are in for nonviolent drug charges. In the United States, there are 1.6 million drug-related charges. Of those 1.6, 1.4 were only for possession. Furthermore, the United States has the most people incarcerated in the world, at 2.3 million prisoners at any point in time. Prisons are overflowing with non-violent drug offenders. On any given day, 450,000 people are incarcerated for non-violent drug crimes. Because of this, many people are losing good parents, and some good parents are losing their children for long periods of time. This is mainly because of the mandatory minimum sentencing that was put in place during the Reagan administration in the 1980s. In the United States, we are seeing a rise in HIV and hepatitis cases. This is due in a large part to the recycling of hypodermic needles among drug addicts and users. According to the Center for Disease Control, 775,000 people reported injecting a drug last year. Now, this is only the people that were willing to report using a drug. That means that many more people could be using, and this could further make the problem worse. From 2014 to 2015, the amount of people who contracted HIV went up by 10%. That number should scare you. That's a large jump in a very short amount of time in a disease that we thought was dead since the 80s. The solution that I propose to these problems is one that's already been put in place by Portugal. In Portugal, the usage of drugs has been decriminalized since 2001. This means that if you are caught in possession of a drug, you are sent to the Commission for the Dissuasion of Drug Addiction. This is essentially just a drug court, where in this drug court, you're either sentenced to community service, a fine, and or sent to rehabilitation. However, rehabilitation is rarely enforced, as they tend to put it more on the person to seek out the help because it's more likely to work. Portugal has seen their usage of drugs decrease. The rates of continuous drug usage, or the amount of people who try a drug once and then continue after, has decreased significantly. Furthermore, Portugal has seen a sharp decrease in overdose deaths, new HIV cases, as well as people incarcerated for drug offenses. As illustrated in this graph, only 30 people overdosed and died in 2016. That's compared to in 1999, 2 years before decriminalization happened, there were 369 deaths. In 2000, there were 907 new HIV diagnoses due to injecting. In 2017, that number was just 18. The number of people incarcerated for drug offenses in 1999 was 3,863. In 2017, it was just 1,140. As seen in Portugal, if the United States were to decriminalize drug usage, we would see the amount of people in jail decrease. The amount of people arrested in Portugal on drug charges went from 14,000 in 2000 to just about 5,500 in 2001. Not only did drug charges decrease, but so did the total prison population. In fact, it went from 44% of the population to just under 21% in 2012. Many people, especially those of a conservative point of view, like the DEA, or Drug Enforcement Agency in the United States, feel that drugs and crime go hand in hand. This is because they use correlation instead of causation. Well, yes, drugs are involved in crime. It is not the way that organizations like the DEA would like you to believe. During Prohibition in the 1920s, a culture of gang violence and drive-by shootings emerged. However, it is not because the assailants were drunk. It is because of all the illegal dealers of alcohol, and they were fighting. Furthermore, in 1989, a government study of all 193 cocaine-related murders in New York City revealed that 87% of those 193 murders were based in rivalry or disagreements in the business of illegal drugs. Not that the murderer was high. In fact, of those 193 murderers, only one of them was high during the crime. Using the Portuguese solution of drug decriminalization, we would see a drug like marijuana be legalized, and instead of users of other harder drugs being thrown in jail and the key being thrown away, we would just see that the addicts are getting the help that they deserve and the help that they need. In conclusion, the United States must follow in the footsteps of Portugal and decriminalize drug usage. It's a simple matter of public health and safety. To help in the fight for decriminalization, I'm asking that you write to our elected officials. I myself have written to State Representative James Sensenbrenner of the 5th District of Wisconsin, as well as President Donald Trump. I even got a letter back from Trump. I do not know who all of your representatives are. However, I can give you the address of the White House, and it is on screen. I have sent letters there and gotten responses, so can you. Remember, we have strength in numbers, and we are the change.